What's that?
And that was without even a single drop of rum.
This, my friend, is a pint. Why don't you just pull up a stool and have a drink with it? It comes in pints. I can get you one. You've had a whole half already.
Good night and party on!
Party on, Wayne!
Party on, Garth.
And we're already off to a good start. Thank you for that. Yeah. So I spared you the Christmas countdown, Christmas intro, but yes, I am using my Christmas story koozie to drink out of for my after work beer. So let's try this intro again. Thank you guys for being here for another edition of After Work Beers. I am your idiot host, John, the creative blue collar guy who doesn't know how to unmute his microphone after running his countdown. So yeah, how's it going, guys? Yep, there you go. Already downvote, unsubscribe, make sure to vote in the poll. So what do you guys think? Am I still muted? I'm unmuted, right? There we go. Okay, there we go. I was like a little bit of a delay. You're always a little slow, Devin, as am I, and that's why we're friends. So yeah, make sure to vote in the poll that I put up there. What do you guys think about the stores putting up the Christmas stuff too early, the people that put up their lights too early, the people that put their tree up too early? My family tradition growing up was always that we would go and buy a tree and put it up the day after Thanksgiving every year. Throughout most of my childhood and teenage life, I found that was kind of not the norm. I actually had some friends whose families were complete psychopaths and would get the tree on Christmas Eve, put it up and decorate it, and that was part of their whole Christmas Eve thing, whatever. And everyone else has different things of when they do it, when they whatever. Funny enough, actually, last year I put my tree up pretty early. And it was even funny because Thanksgiving was early last year. Just the way the Thursday fell and the way the weekend fell. There's Thanksgiving. We had a whole other weekend and then a majority of another week. And then I think the first, maybe December 1st was like the following Thursday or something. I don't know. But yeah, I had my tree up early last year. I don't have it up yet, unfortunately. But I'm sure once it's up, that will become my background on my green screen here. It actually would be right behind me in my living room without the green screen, but then I'd have to clean everything else that would be in the shot and get all the clutter out of my apartment. So on Monday, you're gonna see some Christmas backgrounds. I've already got my little falling snow background here so far. Anyways, as I've already been highlighting so far, we do have Lady Marine in the chat who is ready for a nap, and by listening to me sit here ramble on about anything and everything, you'll be asleep in no time. I guarantee it. And our friend to the north, Salmon Outdoors, my wife says, "Hi, John, you need to cut your beard." No. Well, I'll admit I'm probably due for at least a little bit of a trim. It's kind of more of my winter beard, I guess, but I could clean it up a little bit, but no. Actually, just the other day I was trying to find a picture of the last time I actually like really took it out, to just shaved everything off, and I took about 10 years off of my face, so I can't do that again. It just looks weird. Yeah, it was us growing up. Day after Thanksgiving, we had a fake tree for a good portion of my life. So yeah, I have a fake tree. When I was growing up, we always went and got a real tree. The first year that after my parents moved out of state, the first year that my parents were gone, I got a live tree because I was like, I still want the experience of going and getting the live tree and whatever. Well, it was a terrible mess getting it out of my apartment and getting rid of it, and the needles and everything that were all over my carpet clogged up my vacuum. So then I'm sitting there like trying to clear the hose and the vacuum, and so I went back to the fake tree, but still may or may not go walk around the local family Christmas tree farm every year just to have the experience. Got a real tree last year before Thanksgiving because Dad came up. We hadn't seen each other in 40 years. We celebrated both Thanksgiving and Christmas. Yeah, it's awesome. Sorry, you're not going to get to do that this year, but glad you got to do it last year. Don't say that. Oh, well, she should know who she's married to. Salmon Outdoors. And I'm going to pronounce the D too. Salmon. We got our friend of the North, Salmon Outdoors, here with us. All right. So what do we want to talk about? I got do we have any Dexter fans out there? Because there's a trailer out for the new, there's like a Dexter prequel series coming out called Dexter Youngblood. But if nobody's into the show, if I'm the only one here that watched the show or cares about it, we could skip that one. I've got some weird story about Mark Zuckerberg wanting the United States to make Meta the official AI used by the government. Like every part of that sentence makes my skin crawl. We have music documentaries to survive Thanksgiving. And the drummer for Anthrax saying that Lars Ulrich and Metallica were absolutely right about Napster, saying that Spotify is where music goes to die. So, let's go ahead. We'll talk about Dexter just because I've actually been, okay. So see, we actually have kind of watched, you don't really, okay. If you're not invested, you don't really care. So Dexter had a 9-season run, I think. Let me see before I pull this up and start throwing out all sorts of spoilers for anyone who cares, who probably doesn't. But so Dexter had its run, and then 10 years later, they resurrected it for like a one-off season called Dexter New Blood, and then there was that. And now they are bringing up what will be considered basically like a prequel season with like a young Dexter stuff. But the trailer for this new series gives just a little bit of a spoiler of the end of the last season, Dexter New Blood. Maybe season 2, can't remember. Okay, well, you know what the hell? Let's talk about this. I've actually been revisiting Dexter over the past few months, just kind of going through the episodes here and there, but occasionally taking breaks to get through my list of spooky season movies, and then now my list of Christmas movies. Yeah, I already started watching Christmas movies. Maybe I didn't decorate yet, but I'm watching Christmas movies already. But this Dexter, go ahead and pull it up. Whatever. Let's talk about Dexter. Dexter Original Sin. So this is the prequel series. Trailer teases how Dexter is alive. Spoiler alert for those of you who haven't watched it or haven't made it all the way through. You're way behind the curve. Dexter may or may not be dead. But the trailer for this new series is teasing that he might be alive. We'll see. Go ahead and continue on. Dexter Original Sin has gotten a brand new trailer which teases how Dexter Morgan is still alive. This is one of Showtime's most popular shows, having premiered all the way back in 2006 and it's still showing signs of life almost 20 years later. The show made waves back in the late 2000s for being a bit taboo, putting players in the mind of a serial killer, and in some ways making them complicit in his actions by cheering him on. Michael C. Hall is showered with praise for his performances as the affable yet brutal serial killer, even being held up as the reason the show continued to be enjoyable, even in its weaker seasons. So this is basically a little bit more of like a darker, more twisted version of the Boondock Saints, where he goes after the bad guys. You know, the bad guys who kind of maybe they get arrested, maybe they go through the system, maybe they even get put on trial, but they get let off due to technicalities, loopholes, a missed signature, stuff like that. So, hey Blair, how you doing, buddy? Happy pre-Thanksgiving to you. So yeah, Dexter was just one of those shows where he works for Miami PD, and he finds these people that he thinks are bad people who may or may not have committed murder, maybe multiple murders, and they go through the system and they get off due to whatever, and he goes after them and he takes them out. So he's just going after the bad guys, you know, like, yeah, maybe he's a serial killer, but you know, sometimes I don't know. This is why my channel is shadow banned. After an 8-year run, Dexter concluded in 2013, but left the door open for more. Of course, that ended up happening in 2021 with Dexter New Blood, a continuation of the series. Picked up a decade later. However, things got upended when his estranged son finds him and begins showing signs of his dark urges familiar to Dexter. So, big spoiler alert, everybody. Big spoiler if anyone actually cares to watch the show or has watched some of it or whatever. Dexter was allegedly killed at the end of that last new season in 2021, New Blood, or so we thought. New Blood was so popular in terms of viewership that Showtime and Paramount devised a plan to keep Dexter going as a franchise, which has spawned a prequel series called Dexter Original Sin, which will release in just a few short weeks. It takes place in the 90s. It appears it will also partially continue the story of present-day Dexter in a newly released trailer, which we're going to watch here in just a moment. We see present-day Dexter Morgan bleeding out in the snow, where he supposedly died at the end of New Blood, before cutting to new footage of him being rushed to the hospital where he's being worked on by doctors. Although Dexter was shot in the chest, seemingly in the heart, it seems like he might pull through. So let's go ahead and
this hunger.
Pause. Full screen. There we go. Hopefully you guys can hear this. I think I made sure to share audio, but we're already off to a bad start here.
You have inside of you. It needs a master.
It really is like they say. Your life flashes before your eyes. In the beginning, there was blood. And a code I learned from my father.
The code is to make sure you are different from the people that you kill.
It was simple. Kill the bad guys who escape justice. And don't get caught myself.
If anyone knows how powerful urges can be, it's me.
Trust me, you stay the course, you'll be fine.
Well, Dex, homicide looks good on you.
Couldn't agree more.
Detective Batista.
Where's my desk?
Photograph the entire scene. Spatter matters.
It's starting to look like a serial killer art project up in here.
So I got myself a job.
Welcome to Miami Metro. The first day of the rest of your life.
Hopefully you're not a chip off the old block.
One that brought the blood to me. While honing my skills with help from the people around me.
Gotta blend in. One wrong move, you ruin your life, your sister's, mine.
This is who I am. Who I need to be.
Learning my code was just the beginning. Bringing it to life for the first time is a whole new story.
Dexter, Original Sin. New series streaming December 13th on the Paramount Plus with Showtime plan.
And there you have it. So, major spoilers for anyone who hasn't watched the show, but if you don't care to watch it, well, there's that. I think it'd be interesting, but of course it says it's like on Paramount Plus with the Showtime plan. So it's like, well, I don't have Showtime, so I don't know how that works and if I'm going to be able to watch it, or I don't know. But when I'm able to, I will probably, more than likely, maybe kind of checking that out. All right. So far, all the votes on the poll say that I am what is wrong with society. No, but I kind of felt like even in the Dexter New Blood season, I don't feel like they were doing the typical Hollywood thing of trying to make everything all DEI, super woke, whatever nonsense. So we'll see. I mean, it was a popular enough series, and if they don't give it the typical Hollywood treatment, it might be okay. But you just never know anymore, you know. And yes, apparently now, according to the poll, I am what is wrong with society. But as I said at the beginning of the stream, I have not decorated for Christmas yet. Yeah, I hung a Christmas wreath on my front door, but unlike last year where I put it up super early, I have not put my tree up yet. But they said come Monday, we're doing Christmas countdown intros, we're doing Christmas outros, we're gonna have Christmas backgrounds. The little falling snow here background that I have right now is just the tip of the iceberg there. Going full Christmas after tomorrow. So let's see what else. So okay. Speaking of the holiday, though, we'll get into some Thanksgiving stuff a little bit. This is quite the exhaustive list, so I might skip through it a bit, but could be kind of a fun one to check out. This is a list of music documentaries to watch to survive Thanksgiving. I do not have any family in town, and I am not traveling tomorrow, so I'm not doing any family stuff, but I know a lot of people are. I will go see my family for Christmas, but that's in a month, so whatever. But I thought this one was funny. I came across this. So, music documentary Thanksgiving survival guide. Roman, you're just in time. I think you're going to need some of these. All right, with Ringer Films like Yacht Rock documentary ready to set sail over the Thanksgiving weekend, we decided to bring you a list of emotional support music films to help get you through the season. And yes, we have my Bizarro dad here in the chat now, who is definitely going to be screaming at the family at some point in time tomorrow. We don't know. I don't have any funny clips to play for that, but it's gonna be like when Clark Griswold goes on his big rant about being the happiest bunch of assholes this side of the whatever something. Yeah, it's like, oh no one's leaving. No, we're gonna have a happy damn Thanksgiving. But you know, it's all in good fun. Yeah, where's the lie? Where's the lie? Let's see. Let's kind of skim through this. Like I said, I think it's a fairly exhaustive list. But let's start it up. I really was hoping there's going to just be like bullet points, but there's all these paragraphs and just junk. I don't know. What to watch when you need a reminder that even the closest families fight. The Beatles Get Back. I don't know if I would have considered the Beatles a close family by the time they got to the end of their career. And that's kind of why the tensions were at an all-time high during the time of them filming the Let It Be documentary, which then got re-edited into like a 12-hour long Get Back series. Yeah, Disney knew what it was doing when it launched the Beatles Get Back on Disney Plus on Thanksgiving weekend of 2021. Peter Jackson's epic. They always like to say Peter Jackson's epic. Like, okay, yeah, I get he did Lord of the Rings, but some, you know, not everything's all winners. Not everything's all epics. Not everything has to be an epic, you know. Went through footage from the 1969 sessions for the 1970 album. Documentary Let It Be yielded almost 8 hours of miraculous. Okay, I was close. 8, 12, the same thing, whatever. Yeah, so if you need a reminder that the closest families fight, watch the Beatles Get Back. So apparently it's, almost 8 hours. So that'll kill an entire day. You can get a couple of naps in, have some whiskey. It'll be a good time. It'll be fun. Here we go. What to watch when you need to see someone else's siblings dysfunction. Oasis, Supersonic. I don't really think any more needs to be said about that. What to watch when the boomers and millennials need to find common ground. Todd Haynes, The Velvet Underground. Going on to say, we hated that peace and love crap. So goes a memorable bar by the Velvet Underground drummer Mo Tucker and Todd Haynes. Excellent 2021 documentary of the band. That's because you're a crazy person and you have to control everything. I said what I said. So this one, I know this is gonna give my it's gonna give my Bizarro dad probably a little bit of a heart attack, and he's gonna disown me for the 100th time, whatever. But I'm not really familiar with much, if at all, any of the Velvet Underground music, and secondly, I kind of just don't really care. They're not a band that's ever really been on my radar, so I have been disowned once again, and I accept that. Well, whose fault is that, Roman? What you got to do is all you have to do is you have to screw something up so badly just one time to where it's just like, okay, like you're never in charge of this again. It's all your fault. No. Yeah, Velvet Underground. I don't know. I don't really have a dog in the fight on that one. Sorry, Roman. What to watch when your cousin needs a reminder they're not the main character. 20 Feet from Stardom. Luther Vandross, David Bowie. Not interested in that. Pass. Play the record when you come over to further your music education. Yeah, the good thing is we'll talk over it anyways, like we always do. That's fine. That's fine. Everything's fine. Oh, here we go. This is a good one. What to watch when your whole family could use therapy. Metallica, Some Kind of Monster. We could talk about this one for a minute. What to watch when your whole family could use therapy. I think kind of what this bullet point or headline is getting at is basically like, this might actually make you feel better about your family and your dysfunction within your own family, because here was so much crying. So we took these like metal giants from the 80s and the early 90s. I mean, they were, pioneers of their genre. They were among like the big, what do they always call them? Is it like the big three or the big five of the thrash metal? They were massive, and everyone thought that they were just like this, super awesome, like dark, serious, heavy band and fast and all this. And then you watch this Some Kind of Monster documentary where they're like sitting there with the therapist and like crying and talking about their feelings, and they're just sort of all like, it's like, I mean, yeah, and they're human. I get it. They're human, but it's like, sometimes you don't want to pull the curtain back. Sometimes you just don't need to see that. And you just need to see the public image that they choose to put out there for people. And yeah, this one was pretty brutal to watch. And it's the one where like in the middle of them recording the album, where they didn't even have a bassist, by the way. I think the producer, who was it? It probably says it in the paragraph here. I want to say like Rick Ross or Ruben. Who was it? Who was the producer? Whoever it was, the producer of the album was playing bass for the album because Newstead had quit and they hadn't hired Trujillo yet. But this was like midway through the recording of this album. James Hetfield like walked out of the studio and checked himself into rehab. They didn't know if he was ever coming back or if the band was going to break up or not. Like, there is no crying in metal. Oh man. Yeah, it was not It was not a pretty sight. But funny enough, like in the documentary, they show them like going through the auditions and bringing in Rob Trujillo and initially hiring him at the end, but he did not record on the album. This is gonna bug me now. Who was it? Rick Ross, Ruben something. Who was the producer? I don't see it, and I'm too lazy to actually read the whole paragraph. I'm just skimming. What the hell is this? What to watch when your sibling is more successful than you, but hey, you matter too. Mistaken for strangers. Don't know who any of those people are. We're gonna skip that one. Quincy Jones. Oh boy. Yeah, skip that one. Sorry, not sorry. What to watch when someone, canine, toddler, neither will fess up, shatters your prized SAD light therapy lamp, Summer of Soul. Man, this list is really going downhill fast. Skip a bit more. What to watch for a reminder that being with your loved ones is a beautiful thing, even if your loved ones are morons. Heavy Metal Parking Lot. Judas Priest, functional standpoint, sentences constitute as all the dialogue of Heavy Metal Parking Lot. A 17-minute movie. Oh, that's easy. There you go, Roman. You put something in the oven, set a timer. You got 17 minutes to watch something. Watch Heavy Metal Parking Lot. 17-minute movie that consists of nothing but footage from the car park outside a Judas Priest concert in suburban Maryland in the gloriously stupid late spring of 1986, where I was not even a full 1 year old yet. There's no dramatic arc. Nothing happens. Well, one dude rants so hard about how much he hates punk rock that he hits himself in the face with the microphone and almost falls over, which, to be frank, is a more compelling plot than you find in most Star Wars sequels. Oh yeah, that's where's the lie? Other than that, it's just a giddy parade of dirty Trans Am's feathery-haired boys who weigh 122 pounds standing around drinking Jack Daniels in skinny jeans and no shirts, and a lot of whooping about the priest, also Dokken. Dokken was the opening act. Dokken rocks. Not sure if you've noticed. If it's not already clear, I sincerely believe that Heavy Metal Parking Lot is the greatest rock documentary ever made, and I say that even though it contains no history, no context, no interpretation, no insight, and almost no music. It conveys no facts. Oh, hell, where'd it go? Just lost everything. And your browser just keeps updating while you're reading. No facts, but it makes you feel at a cellular level what it was like to be young, wasted, mildly hopeless. Now we know what it feels like to be fully hopeless, though, and utterly on top of the world on this one specific May night, and to come together with people who truly get you, i.e., people who also use jump his bones as a euphemism for sex. This holiday season, let us hope all our families, biological or chosen, can rock this hard for us. Wow, that was quite the journey. That was a lot. It's the year. Oh, hey, well, that's all right. That's a year to celebrate. What to watch when you need to explain your musical taste and personal style to your uninterested nieces. Hype. Why do I feel like I'm about to be really annoyed by whatever this documentary is? As much as I like Singles, which is a movie from, I believe, the early 90s that featured a lot of the musicians from the Seattle grunge scene as actors in the movie, from the likes of Chris Cornell to Eddie Vedder and some others that maybe shouldn't have tried their hand at acting. As much as I like Singles, Montage of Heck, and Pearl Jam 20, there's no better cinematic portrayal of the Seattle music in the late 80s and early 90s than director Doug Praise Doc. There's plenty of Nirvana, Pearl Jam, and Soundgarden footage of the first performance of Smells Like Teen Spirit. Screaming Trees, Super Suckers, Okay, so this one, hype, sounds like it's just a lot about the late 80s, early 90s Seattle grunge scene. All right, that's fair. That's something. Their lesser known peers, blah, blah, blah. Even after their friends have made it big, they still seem genuinely shocked that major record labels descended upon their town. To them, it understandably felt ridiculous. Right now, Seattle is quarter until 6 at Christmas Eve at a shopping mall when the mall closes at 6 o'clock. What the hell does that even mean? I don't know. I don't know what's happening at this point. Megan Jasper, who went on to become the CEO of Sub Pop, says at one point, when it's too crazy and it's loaded with submoronic idiots prancing around buying everything they can get their hands on, that metaphor is a good example of what the movie captures, and most mainstream accounts of the scene don't. Its sense of humor. Find that most music fans do not have a sense of humor. Saw the metal parking lot one. Okay, so Blair's seen that one. He's familiar. But the this one, the hype, you think it sounds like hippie bullshit? Yeah, you were already old and grumpy when the 90s grunge stuff came around, huh? You're already like, these damn kids are trying to ruin my music. Get off my lawn. Let's see here. What do we have next? What to watch when your mom suggests gathering in the living room to watch the new Amy Winehouse movie, Amy. We are going to skip right over that one. What to watch when you're grieving at the end of the Eras tour. Oh my God, I can't believe those words just came out of my mouth. No. Keep moving. Rap world, I'm out. Keep moving. What to watch when you get cornered by your younger cousins to talk about playlists. Keep in time. Happens every Thanksgiving while I'm waiting to fill plate number 2 with more mac and cheese and chicken, karage, whatever. I'm uncultured. Run from the rum. Let's see, what is this? Mr. Oldhead yelling at a cloud and attempted and keep in time to. What is this? What am I looking at right now? Pester you about Spotify listening for the year. We're going to talk about Spotify here in a minute. So this time, avoid being Mr. Oldhead yelling at a cloud for the umpteenth time, Roman. I plan on digging through some shoeboxes for an HDMI cord and throwing my Keep in Time DVD on to avoid any heated debates. What is this about? I see the word DJ. I'm moving along. I'm out. As soon as I see DJ, I'm out. Because as a musician who does local, play at various local establishments, playing cover songs, whatever, just trying to make a little bit of extra money and stuff. Me and my kind are rapidly being replaced by DJs. So I have like a very personal vendetta against DJs, especially now, because like, okay, 20, 30, 40 years ago, DJs, and they actually had like the dual turntables whenever, and we're like actually scratching records and stuff. It's like, okay, I still think it's stupid, but they were actually kind of doing something. Now, what does a DJ actually do anymore? They pull up their laptop and they play a Spotify playlist and then sit there and bob their head for fucking $300 or $400, whatever. Meanwhile, I gotta sit in my living room all day, every day after work, practicing, learning songs and everything to get out there, only for people to be like, oh, you don't know my one favorite song. Oh, you're terrible. And it's like, well, I'm not a friggin' jukebox. Like, I got to learn how to play this stuff. Like, oh my God, I hate DJs so much. And they're taking my job. They're taking my work. What's up, Jacob? You're here just in time for a rant. Good to see you, buddy. How are you? Oh my God, I hate DJs so much. It's like, yeah, like I said, even in, especially in today's age, they don't do anything. They just like, okay, like, here's my Spotify playlist, and I just turned on like the crossfade where it just like it fades from one song to the next, and there's no downtime. There's no like, oh my God, hate so much.
And that's all I have to say about that.
All right, let's continue, shall we? What to watch when your uncle thinks he knows about rock history? A band called Death. You're on your second plate of Thanksgiving. Okay, I don't need all the fluff. Let's skip along here. Maybe they rightfully give credit to the Stooges in the days before CBGB became the place for the future of punk rock, but you know something is missing from their argument. It's when you dig through your DVD spindles, grab the 2012 documentary, A Band Called Death. Documented the Detroit-based African-American trio who are credited as not only being the first black punk rock band, but punk rock's first band. Roman, I'm gonna yield to you on this one, buddy. I think you or Blair, like you guys are kind of the punk rock experts here. Have you heard of a band called Death who is claiming to be punk rock's first band? I'll wait. Because I've never heard of this band before. We decided to form a band after watching the Beatles perform on the Ed Sullivan Show. By 1973, the group, then known as the Rock Fire Funk Express. What am I even reading right now? What am I even reading right now? Vaguely heard about them. Yes and no, they are not. Okay, so here's a fun argument then, because I know this has always been kind of a big thing. What do you consider to be the first punk rock band? As I continue to skim through this paragraph, that I'm not really going to read much more of this because this sounds dumb. Disbanded in 1977, releasing only 2 singles. All right, moving on. What to watch when you need to disassociate completely? Gentle and Soft, the story of the Blue Jean Committee. What in the world? I apologize, everybody. I did not fully vet this list before reading it, but this is part of the fun of when I do some of these streams by myself like this. Like I don't. I come in very unprepared and very unscripted. I mean, I'm always unprepared and unscripted, but this is like you're getting my real legitimate reaction here because I have no idea what's happening right now. There were a ton that popped up around the same time. You really have the Kinks to thank for what became punk rock. Oh, you're gonna disown me again for this. I can't stand the Kinks. Oh, I hate the Kinks so much. I'm not sorry though, not in the least bit. Yep, let's continue on here. And I believe that is it. All right. So there are really only like maybe 2, maybe 3 things in there worth watching. Cool. I apologize to everybody who has been sitting here with me this entire time. That was pretty terrible. Make sure to vote in the poll. Hey, some people don't think I'm what's wrong with society. Woo! We got some votes for agree and disagree. All right. And as always, too, don't forget to like the stream if you guys are here watching. It really does help the channel and help share it out there, as well as voting in the poll. Did somebody just change their vote? I feel like people are changing their votes right now. Do they make me feel all kinked up inside? I can't stand their voices. Vocal, like my number one thing that will make or break a band for me is the vocals. I can't stand the Kinks. I hate the Kinks. I hate Leonard Cohen. I hate Nick Cave. Yeah, this is why Roman disowns me multiple times a week. But it's okay. We get together, we have some whiskey, we smoke some cigars, we duke it out, get the boxing gloves out. Everything's fine. It's fine. It's family, families fight. It's all right. You can't change. Oh, okay. It's weird because I'm watching it and it's looking like the numbers are changing, but it's still sitting at the same amount of votes. Anyways, whatever. Doesn't matter. Hey. Whoa, those are fighting words there, sir. All right, like
No, man. Shit, no, man. I believe you get your ass kicked saying something like that, man.
let's go, old man. Let's see here. Speaking of gay, let's talk about Lars. Yeah. So Charlie Benante from Anthrax believes Lars was absolutely right about Napster and says Spotify is where music goes to die. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand where musicians and bands and artists are coming from on this one, in that the age of people buying music, them being able to track record sales, albums going platinum, gold, whatever stuff, it's the whole game has changed. The whole industry has changed because of streaming. There, Spotify, I think, was the very first one. I mean, there's Pandora, but Pandora was more of just like a radio app type of thing. But if I'm not mistaken, Spotify was the first one where it was like, if you subscribed to Spotify, it was like you unlocked all of iTunes. It's like, okay, I want to go listen to this album front to back with no ads as it was recorded. I don't have to buy it. I don't have to do anything. I can just listen to it on my phone, on my computer. And okay, fine. I get it. But that was Spotify was a subscription service. Then came Apple Music, then YouTube Music, then all sorts of different competitors. Napster was a legitimate, like, basically a piracy software where anyone could download the Napster software for free and then go and download songs for free that other people had uploaded. You're really taking a gamble with the quality, because a lot of times it would be an MP3 that had been compressed and converted so many times that it sounded like there's constant running water in the background of this song that you downloaded. Lots of fake songs of people being like, oh, we have the new Tool album here. You put it up there and you download it, and it was a bunch of garbage because some jokester put it up there. Maybe even Tool themselves put it up there to deter people. Whatever. There are some major significant differences between Napster and Spotify. However, I understand where they're coming from with this argument. Yeah, you can't put the genie back in the bottle. CDs have become obsolete. Cassettes and vinyl have become a novelty again, but again, only a small percentage of people are buying the older analog formats. Roman, I think, is making up for everyone else in the entire country who doesn't buy physical media anymore, just based on the amount of records he bought in the year of 2024. Yes, we know, Roman, and I'm planning your intervention soon. You won't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen soon, because you have a problem. And the first step to recovery is admitting you have a problem. And then, yeah, too, CD ripping software, Blair. Once people are able to rip CDs, and then as the internet rapidly advanced and people being able to do different types of file sharing, sure, they took down Napster, but there became different ways that people could share files between friends. Or once the iPod became a thing, you could go over and you could like plug your iPod into your friend's computer, and they could load all their music onto your iPod and stuff. So the digital age in general has changed the music industry, and then streaming, as they're saying now, is killed it. Now blame YouTube and MP3 download software. Yeah, there's a lot of culprits here. But there's no denying that the idea of people buying music has severely declined. Like I said, Roman is making up for everybody else. He's trying to save the world, man. He's trying to save the music industry. If you're doing it East County Vinyl, it would be convenient. Yeah. Roman's out there trying to single-handedly save the music industry. So he believes that Lars was absolutely right about Napster, and so Spotify is where music goes to die. Let's see if I can get rid of some of these ads. No, that made it worse. There we go. All right, we're on to something. Okay. Man, monkey with a coconut. In an interview with the Irish Times, oh, okay, I like that one. If they were drinking Guinness while they were talking, drummer Charlie Benante was asked if the music industry has changed for the better or worse in the 40-plus years since the band Anthrax was formed. He responded, "There is no music industry. That's what has changed. There's nothing anymore. There are people listening to music, but they are not listening to music the way music was once listened to. It's a different time now." So obviously I am not of an age to remember when vinyl was the format to buy. I have a modest vinyl collection. However, I still think Roman bought more vinyl just in the year of 2024 than I own in my entire collection. I just smacked my ring light that's keeping my green screen lit. But I definitely came up in the CD era. I had multiple of those CD folders that held upwards of like 1 to 200 CDs, and I had 2 or 3 of those that I would always have in my car, and while I was driving, I'd be shuffling through CDs and throwing my CDs in and listening to them. Even at that time, even at the generation of CDs, I had friends who, when the new Tool album came out, when the new Mudvayne album came out, new Deftones album, whatever it was, some of our favorite bands, when a new album came out, we would just get in the car, throw in the CD, and just drive around kind of aimlessly, just killing time, just doing whatever, because we were under 21 and there weren't a lot of legal things you could do that were fun when you were under 21. We would literally just drive around and listen to music and listen to these new albums and listen to CDs. Like, music used to be more of a social thing. You would get together, you'd be like, "Hey, I bought the new record by Pink Floyd. Hey, I bought the new CD from Tool. Hey, I bought," like, let's hang out and listen to it. Let's sit in the living room and listen. Let's, whatever. Now everyone's just headphones, earbuds, everything. Like, you go to the grocery store, people are wearing Beats headphones over their ears and stuff. And like, don't get me wrong, I'm not the friendliest person in the world either. Like, when I'm like grocery shopping, trying to do something, I'm like blinders on, focus, going, whatever. Like, I'm not trying to stop and talk to every person that crosses my path and make small talk and stuff. But if you make eye contact with someone, it's like I can at least kind of give a smile and a nod, say, "Hey, how you doing?" Whatever. So, like, acknowledge that you are crossing paths with another human being. But now people are so just like, nope, like, headphones, don't look at me, don't talk to me, don't, like, everyone's just in their own little bubble. And music used to be more of a social thing, so Jacob, don't do it, Jacob. You'll wind up like Roman. Oh man, no, I mean, it is fun, it's cool to have some records here and there and stuff, but just Roman is a crazy person, so just don't wind up like him. I need to start my record collection over again. My ex-husband stored mine incorrectly and ruined. Oh, don't tell me he like kept them in the garage and they melted one summer. I have a friend who's my age that, his parents had records like from their childhood, like original pressings and stuff, and they left their records in the garage, and we had an unusually hot summer one year and they all freaking melted. It was bad. Laid them on top of each other. No, because the one at the very bottom is getting crushed by the weight of all the other ones. See, case in point, crazy person. Start a record collection, but don't be like Roman. Yeah, that's a rookie move. That's like rule number 1. Like, you don't stack records on top of each other. But for a lot of other reasons that we're obviously not going to get into here in the stream, we know that your ex was an absolute complete moron, so it doesn't surprise me in the least. And I'm sorry. What's up, Left Eye Ego? Good to see you. And yes, listening to music used to be an escape enjoyed together. Now it's used as white noise to distract. Yeah, and exactly that. Like, it's, people don't even consume music the same way. Even with Spotify and even with streaming and stuff, like, people don't set aside time to sit and listen to an album. Like in a lot of ways, it's almost like when you take the time to, sit and read a book. Like you say, okay, I have this book that I really want to read. I'm going to make time to sit down and read. And people do that with music. They would put the album on, they would listen track to track, they would go through. I mean, bands like Pink Floyd, bands like Tool, it's like if I'm listening to music on Spotify and like a song from The Wall shuffles on or something from Tool shuffles on, like I skip it because it's like I love those bands and I love their albums, but those songs were not meant to be on shuffle because I hear one song from The Wall, I'm going to want to hear the whole album. So it's like it's meant to be listened to in order. So yeah, people just they consume it differently now because of streaming. Also, everything's on shuffle. Everything's just whatever. Do you have the Roman syndrome where you collect too much vinyl? Oh no, Jacob, turn away. Don't take any help from Roman. If you can take any help from Roman, don't be like Roman. I like music, but I think it's really dumb to walk around with headphones on all the time. That's how you get mugged, or like I said, I subscribe to Spotify. I use it when I'm at work. Sometimes I put on a playlist where it's just like, okay, just give me like a rock playlist. Other times I'll listen to whole albums. But also if I'm driving, if I'm at home, I like to put on albums and listen to albums the way they're meant to be. So I'm kind of both sides of the coin where it's like, yeah, I do kind of have it on at work as background noise, but I'm not going to be listening to music when I'm out walking around grocery shopping or something. And yeah, I do still like to sit down and like listen to an album. Like Roman so kindly pointed out, my favorite gay ass band, Coheed and Cambria, all their albums are concept albums. So when an album comes out, like I want to sit and like take the time to listen to it and like really, take it in, just don't take any advice from Roman. He's the dealer. Roman is like, it's not even just the gateway. He is the dealer. He's like, oh, I got the stuff, man. Like you need something. You need a record. You need a record player. You need some speakers. You need what else we got here? So he goes on to say, here's the strange thing. While I've seen people eating a little bit more healthy here and there, the industry of music was one of the things hit the worst, and nobody did anything about it. They just let it happen. There was no protection, no nothing. Subconsciously, this may be the reason why we don't make records every 3 years or whatever, because I don't want to give it away for free. I take music very seriously, and what I do and what I write is very personal, and for someone to take it is not right. Like I pay Amazon $12.99 a month, and I can just go on Amazon and get whatever music I want. It is basically stealing. It is stealing from the artists, the people who run music streaming sites like Spotify. Okay. Again, I think what he's saying is not necessarily wrong, but these companies are doing it in a legal way. So the problem now is it probably falls within the record label and the contract they have and the way that they can distribute the band's music. Napster was illegal. Napster literally was people upload, like somebody ripped a CD, uploaded songs, other people could download it absolutely free, no paid subscription, no nothing. You're paying $12.99 a month for Amazon. I get that a lot of the bands and the artists aren't really seeing that money unless they're getting millions and millions of streams per song or whatever. But saying that they're stealing from the artist, it's like you need to take that up with your record label. And a lot of people don't have that kind of pull or that sort of power to renegotiate with their record label, but that's a matter of distribution at that point. They're not doing anything illegal. They're totally screwing over the bands. Don't get me wrong. They really are screwing over the artists, but it's not illegal. They're not stealing. Yeah, it's the labels that are doing it, not somebody's getting paid, but it's not the people that are writing and recording the music, unfortunately. He says, I don't subscribe to Spotify. I think it's where music goes to die. We have the music on there because we have to play along with the game, but I'm tired of playing the game. And actually, Tool did not have their music on any digital format, not even iTunes. You couldn't stream it anywhere. You couldn't purchase it on iTunes. Tool literally was not in the digital world until 2019. They really held out. And it was funny when they finally did, with the release of their most recent album, Fear Inoculum, in August of 2019. Their entire catalog went digital and like started knocking Taylor Swift out of the #1 spot on all sorts of different charts and whatever, and this and that and the other. All the Swifties were losing their minds and freaking out because obviously they'd never heard of this band Tool before. And they're like, yeah, I don't know. I guess they're like some old guys like from the 90s that are like trying to make a comeback or something because they hadn't made an album in 13 years. And they're just the Swifties' brains couldn't comprehend that this band seemingly came out of nowhere and knocked Taylor Swift off all the charts. It's like, well, they have a loyal fan base that they've been building for like the past almost 40 years that all of a sudden now people can stream it on Spotify and they can download it on iTunes and they can everything. And it's just like, it broke the internet when Tool finally went digital. It was hilarious. I was totally here for it. I should have had the meme ready. I would have to dig to find it. But at one point there's a meme where they put Maynard's face on Thanos doing the snap and like Taylor Swift was like turning to dust. It was amazing. I was so there for it. So he continues on saying, we get taken advantage of the most out of any industry. As artists, we have no health coverage. We have nothing. I don't know how we come out of it. You'd probably make more money selling lemonade on the corner. I don't know about that, but you could try it. At this point, bands typically make their money touring, but again, that's another one where so many different people need to get paid for like tours and stuff that it's just that's not a very profitable thing for anyone involved. When he was asked if he thought Metallica was right in deciding to launch a legal action against Napster, although the case was settled out of court, 300,000 users were banned from the pioneering software file sharing service as a result, and Metallica's image took a tremendous beating in the eyes of music fans. Yeah, it's like I said, it's a matter of ownership and distribution rights. I would think that a band like Anthrax had been around long enough that they could renegotiate some of their contracts and stuff, but I also think that maybe they're just not as popular as some of the other bands to have that kind of leverage and pull. And I wholeheartly agree. Absolutely. But it was so funny to watch Tool put their whole catalog up digitally and all the Swifties freaking out because they thought these guys just like came out of nowhere. They'd never heard of them. And they're like, what's happening? Who is this band of like guys in their late 50s and early 60s that are knocking out our favorite artists from the top spot on the Billboard charts? Like, like what do we do? Which I'm like, I could give a crap. It's like, I've always said that I like what I like, whether they're the #1 band on the Billboard charts or whether they're the local band playing at the dive bar around the corner. If the music's good, the music's good. I don't really care who you are. Just make good music. Yeah. Haters gonna hate. He might be. That might be one of his guilty pleasures. But, you know.
I was there, Gandalf. I was there 3,000 years ago.
Strange. We'll go with strange. Just strange. So he's saying that Metallica's image took a major hit when they went after Napster. But again, I like I said, I think that one was actually legitimate because what Napster was doing was actual piracy and actually was illegal. Well, then I guess if listening to Taylor Swift makes you cultured, then yes, Roman is cultured. So Charlie went on to say, like, they were absolutely right about going after Napster. You see where it went. All those people who said F Metallica, they're rich bastards. They were protecting their art, their intellectual property, so that some a-hole does not get to come along and take your art. They make money well, you just make the art and you give it away. So yeah, that one, and I remember that too. It was like this whole thing where they're like, oh, Metallica, you guys are all rich, you don't have enough money, whatever. It's like Napster was literally letting people steal their music. It was literal piracy. It was literally illegal. That was a different story. Now with Spotify, Amazon, all that, like I said, it's a difference of ownership and distribution rights and different things. But Charlie continues on saying, people don't know anything about this until you've lived the way we live and you do what we do, and you can comment on it. Back in April of 2020, his Anthrax bandmate, guitarist Scott Ian, which can I just say right away, screw Scott Ian. That guy is such a freaking tool. He charges people for autographs, and it's like, who the hell are you? Like, you're not Dimebag, you're not Kirk Hammett, you're not Eddie Van Halen. Like, yeah, get out of here, Scott Ian. Like, nobody wants to pay, $20 or $50 or whatever for your stupid autograph. Anyways, Scott Ian said Spotify had worked out really well for Anthrax, even though he was initially against the streaming music service. Interesting. Wait, what's happening here? There we go. I know the song because of the movie Sing. Boo likes it, Hedgehog sings it, or something. Don't lie, Roman. You know every word of the song. You sit there and sing it along with the movie. We know. Everybody knows. You've probably got the dance moves down and everything. And yeah, it's all right. You can admit it. You can admit it. We all know. While Spotify has gotten a lot of criticism for how little it pays artists for their music, many musicians have since embraced. Ooh, somebody did not proofread this article. Many musicians have embraced the platform. Okay. In 2015, the Anthrax guitarist spoke out against Spotify when he said that we should be being paid more for our streams. Man, this thing is really rapidly unraveling. And claiming that services like Spotify had really devalued music. What just happened to my screen? But 3 years later, in an interview with Spain's Resurrection Fest, Ian revealed that he has changed his mind about Spotify, calling the service a good tool for all bands. Well, a tool knows a tool, so, to have their music heard. Oh, I bet he does. I bet he knows every lyric of every Nickelback song. Oh, yeah. There's, I need to screenshot that. Shadow just behind me, shrouding every step I take. Oh boy. Oh, this is fun. All right, let's see. Let's continue on. I'm looking at the little scroll thing on the side here. I feel like this continues on for quite a bit. How much longer is this article? Okay, we're getting there. It's just a lot of ads and crap at the bottom. Wasn't a fan of streaming music initially. Right, I like this idea. The bands are getting ripped off. I still feel the bands are getting ripped off, but at the same time, I definitely enjoy. I love being in my house. Basically, have any song ever right on my phone. So there it is. He's like, oh, I think the bands are getting ripped off, but it's convenient. It's nice. I think that Spotify is a good tool for bands. If you don't adapt, then you don't survive. It's evolution, and that's really what it is. In the last few years, we've adapted and we've accepted what's going on in the world. And you can't constantly fight a battle against things you're never going to win and have no control over. March of 2020, Charlie Benante made headlines when he said that Apple had a big hand in destroying music. More than 20 years ago, when the music business refused to adapt to the changes brought about by the internet, the record companies had a big hand in it because they got greedy. Record companies have always been greedy. I mean, come on, let's be real here. The artists got greedy when they felt, oh, I can get a 3-album deal for $75 million. But at the end of the day, if they're taking all that money, what happens to the lesser known bands who are striving to become something? Where does that money come from? I mean, it was just such a mess, and it really dug a hole for itself. And now who is paying for it? Everybody. Okay, but even that, where it says, okay, 3-album deal for $75 million. So over the course of however long it takes a band to make 3 albums, let's say 2 to 3 years between each album, that's 3, 6, 9, that's 9, 10, maybe even 12 years if they're kind of um spread out a little bit more. But then also that's probably the label fronting the money for the studio time to record the album, artwork and pressing, distribution, tour. Like it's not like the band is just getting handed $75 million and they get to just go nuts with it. It's like that's probably the whole thing of like, okay, 3 albums, studio time, touring, then your salaries, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Metallica sued Napster after the band discovered that a leaked demo version of its song "I'd Disappear" was circulating on the pioneering music file sharing service before it was released. In May of 2000, Ulrich famously delivered a literal truckload of paper to Napster Incorporated, listing hundreds of thousands of people who allegedly used the company's software to share unauthorized MP3s of Metallica songs. You know what that reminds me of? Where it's like he's saying he's literally delivered like truckloads of paper showing all the people who allegedly used it. If you guys have seen Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and the parts of the movie where both Jay and Silent Bob like printed out this list of people that were like talking trash about them on the internet, and they like traveled around and like went to the house of each person just to like punch them in the face. That kind of reminds me of what's happening here. Anyways, but I digress. Metallica representatives compiled the more than 60,000 page list of 335,435 Napster user IDs over one weekend in response to Napster's promise to terminate the accounts of users who trade material without permission. Real names were not included on the list. Well, nobody was trading it with permission, so wouldn't it have been all of their users? I feel like that's a relatively low number for the amount of people that probably use that software. In later years, Metallica embraced digital music. In December of 2012, the band made all its studio albums as well as various live material, singles, remixes, and collaborations available on Spotify. Yeah, but he didn't used to. It's like a lot of Hollywood. It's like a lot of Hollywood. Everyone sucks now. Everybody sucks now. Yeah, I don't just don't know what to. I don't really know what to do at this point other than to just have a pint.
Get out of my way. What's that?
This, my friend, is a pint.
It comes in pints? I can get you one.
You've had a whole half already.
Anyways, like I said at the beginning, yes, I am already using my Christmas Story koozie where Ralphie goes blind due to soap poisoning. Starting Monday, I will be full Christmas countdowns, Christmas intros, Christmas outros, Christmas tree in the background. We're going full Christmas on Monday for Late to the Party News, where we are hopefully going to be able to do part 2 of what are the greatest rock bands of all time, where I found a list that so far we all had a lot of disagreements on. And we're going to continue on for the last half of the list and give our 2 cents on who we think really is some of the greatest rock bands of all time and how much we disagree with the stupid list that I found. But just real quick, checking to make sure I don't have any DMs or any funny memes to share before I take off here. Yes, I did actually. I've lost faith in Hollywood. I'm at a point where I don't really keep up with a lot of modern movies now, especially not sequels or prequels or reboots or whatever. But yeah, the new Christmas Story movie, I really, really enjoyed. I thought it was very well made. I thought it was very heartfelt. It avoided pushing any agendas or any nonsense BS modern day Hollywood. I thought it was a good tribute. It was a good send off because the actor that played the dad in the original really did pass away, and so I just the way that they did the story and everything, I really enjoyed that one. Yeah, that has been added to the list of movies to watch every year. So yeah, I really did enjoy that. Would you like me to do a face swap of that video clip? That could be fun. Because like I said a couple weeks ago, that really did happen. Roman and I were out at a brewery and somebody walked by, like we were sitting there with like our regular, 16-ounce pints, and somebody walked by with like the big liter German Stein, and Roman's like, "What's that?" And it's like it literally happened. It literally really happened in real life. Jeez. That's Roman's favorite band, everybody. Jacob posted a great one of me on the, oh, hold on, I gotta find that. I have my phone sitting here in front of me, but I'm not necessarily looking at all my notifications. Oh, 11 notifications. Good Lord. Hold on. I gotta catch up on these before I sign off here. Oh gosh. Jeez. Oh my god, it's so good. Well done, sir. Well done. Oh man. Let's see what else is here that I missed since I've been here for the last hour. Love you, gays. I think I'm all caught up now. That was good. Well done, Jacob. As always, well done. But yeah, I hope you guys all enjoy your Thanksgiving. If you are the Thanksgiving celebratory types, those of you that might be tuning in from outside of the United States, whatever you may or may not celebrate, I hope you enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend. I'm going to enjoy the next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 days off work. Math is hard. I do a lot of math at work, but as soon as I punch out, I'm like, no more math. I'm going to be enjoying the next 4 days off. And I hope you all enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, the rest of your week, hopefully your holiday, and get ready for late to the party news on Monday to be full-blown Christmas. Jacob Ironside, Roman of the Empire, Blair to Blair, Left Eye Ego, Salmond Outdoors, Lady Marine. Thank you all for joining me, for hanging out. I'm John, the creative blue collar guy. I will see you guys on Monday for late to the party news. Peace.